Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm covering the solo and 1v1 competitive block war game We Are Coming Nineveh, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this one. In the game, one player controls the Iraqi security forces, the other player controls ISIS forces when they're battling for the city of Mosul, and in the solo mode, you just control the Iraqi forces, and the Automa controls ISIS. And players take turns moving units and attacking in a dice-based combat system, and the Iraqi forces are mainly trying to take control of the old city area as quickly as possible, while also fighting the ISIS forces around the entire map. And once the old city is cleared out, or once 12 turns have passed, you total up some victory points basically and see who won. So let's discuss 5 key things to know about We Are Coming Nineveh. So my number 5 point for the game, the least important to know, but still important, I wouldn't mention it, are the capability cards. So each player at the beginning of the game secretly selects up to 30 points worth of these cards, and it can give you lots of different strategies to pursue in the game. Artillery, more units, being more careful to lessen casualties and collateral damage. Now, of course, this is most interesting in the competitive play when both players are doing it secretly and you don't even reveal which cards you've picked until they become relevant, so there's lots of surprises. But even in the solo mode, just being able to pick your own cards gives you lots of fun options to try out. The one potential negative here, though, is that some cards are clearly better than others, and I saw the designer talk about this. They said that was kind of the intent, that they wanted to push the players toward like realistic options and what could have actually been used instead of other options. But it does mean if you want to min-max things and have the best chance of winning, some cards are going to be clearer choices compared to others. A number 4 point, which is a mix for my taste, is the solo bot itself. So first of all, this is a block game, which means the opposing blocks are facing away from you. I'll talk about that more in a second. And that already presents some annoyances in the solo mode because you have to like flip everything to the other side, but maintain which side is upright because that determines their current health. So it's kind of a hassle to set everything up. And then both in setup and in the play of the game, this is an Automa where a lot of it is really just you making decisions. Like they'll tell you what they should generally do. Like, hey, they should attack the weakest area. Hey, you should put them near a road. But you have to make the actual decisions. Also, like when the enemy will retreat or not. So players who are looking for a full hand-holding, like tell you exactly what to do solo system will not find it here. But on the positive side, that means the rules are very straightforward. You don't have to go through 50 priority tables just to do a single action. And the way the enemy turns work is really clever. You have these military council cards and you flip a single card a turn, and it basically has them try to do a few things. And some of them are based on what you've already defeated in the enemy forces. So yeah, while there are some annoyances in dealing with the enemy blocks, and while some people might not like the amount of player input needed for the solo mode, I think it does play quite smoothly. Well, let's get back to those blocks and talk about them for my number 3 point, which is a full pro for my taste. Now, I am a fan of block-based war games from way back. I've been playing these kind of games for like 20, 30 years, but they provide a lot of cool things. And this is mainly in competitive play. You have some great fog of war naturally with this kind of system because you can see their blocks and they can see yours, like the general number of people in a given area, but you're not quite sure how strong they are and what they are. The ISIS players even have rumors that are not real blocks, but can fool them into thinking you have a really powerful force somewhere. And the blocks also naturally track damage and combat capabilities, because what happens is you rotate them as they take damage, and the upright number is the value needed to actually score a hit in combat. So it keeps the board very clean and easy to manage. It again gives a lot of excitement in competitive play, and even in the solo, although the blocks are a little bit annoying, it is fun that there's so much variety in who you're going to actually discover and face each time you move into a place and discover a place, and the fog of war can still sometimes be thrilling. My number 2 point for the game is the randomness and the dice rolling. And this is going to be really hit or miss for people. It's a mix for me. So when you go into combat, you are rolling for each individual unit, so one die at a time. And you're trying to equal or exceed their attack value to deal damage to the other units. And as you can imagine, this can be incredibly swingy. Like sometimes you'll just totally fail a key attack and lose a bunch of people. Sometimes you won't. On the positive side, that gives the game massive replay because the battle is going to play out extremely differently each time, but it also can be very frustrating based on how you feel about randomness. And then another positive/negative thing, although I think it is pretty clever, is the event system. So whenever a unit attacks and rolls either a 1 or a 6, you check the topmost card of the deck, and if it matches the roll, you flip this event. And this has all these interesting and kind of like fun and crazy events from the actual conflict and things that could have happened, like casualties, like surprises, little narrative moments. On the positive side, these are really cool to kind of get you into the combat and have it, again, have even more replay and variety. strategy. But on the negative side, when you get a bunch of events in a row, sometimes I just lose track of who's attacked and how many times they've attacked, because since you're rolling one attack at a time, there's nothing to really like show you who's done what. So the events can be really fun, but they can also mess up the flow of the game at times. And finally, my number one point to know about the game is the tactical movement and kind of positioning your units. And this is actually a mix as well, but for some specific reasons. So there are some really cool things going on. You have a stacking limit in each area, so you can't just like move your entire force all together. You also have these highways that the Iraqi forces can use to quickly move, but if the ISIS forces are blocking them, then suddenly you can't get past them, so you got to kind of clear things out, and the ebb and flow and kind of feel of the mobility of each side changes throughout the game. You also have to be really careful about retreat paths and not like following up too much, because sometimes by stacking your units too much together, you can actually cut off your own retreat. So all of that is really cool. Where the game does get into a mix for me is that kind of by design and by historical accuracy, the game is a slog. It's supposed to be a slog because the ISIS fighters, especially in the old city, they are just trying to fight over every inch of terrain, and it can really take a long time. Like many combats can just send you right back to where you were, and you fight again until you can actually defeat the enemy completely. So yeah, you'll be creeping along inch by inch, fighting bloody combat after bloody combat. For some people, it's going to be awesome, and again, I think it's totally matching the designer's intent to portray kind of the vicious battle that happened in Mosul, but it doesn't always equate to fun, at least for me. Overall, if you want to play a war game with tense combat, with lots of tactical options and strategic options of what forces you bring, then We Are Coming Nineveh might fit the bill. But if you want to avoid a game with a lot of dice luck, if you don't want to deal with some fiddliness in your solo modes, this might be one to avoid. And if you want to see the game in action to help you make your decision, check out my recent playthrough.